For 4,000 years, chocolate has been used for medicinal cures, ritual drinks and holiday celebrations. So with its long-standing magical and mythical properties, it's only fitting that the name of the tree it comes from is Theobroma cauco, which means food of the gods. Nearly all of the cocoa in the world grows within 20 degrees of the equator. I'm on my way to Ghana to see for myself this food of the gods, which was first introduced there in 1879.
Africa, 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 Africa.
The history of chocolate dates back to 1900 BC, where cocoa was actually consumed as a beverage. It also played a special role with the Aztecs, the religious and royal events, where priests would present cocoa beans as offerings to the gods and also serve chocolate drinks at sacred ceremonies. Upon the fall of the Aztec Empire, the conquering Spanish enriched and sweetened the cocoa beverage by adding milk and sugar for use as a dessert. The story of cocoa in Ghana, however, is different, not just because of the origin of the cocoa bean, but because of how the Ghanaians perceive it. Thanks, Alex. Cocoa cultivation began with the introduction of the cocoa bean to Ghana in 1879 by Teta Kwashi. He established a cocoa farm in the eastern region of Ghana when he planted Amenalado cocoa pods. In turn, other farmers bought these pods from him. Thomas, hi.
Hi.
I'm Lucy, how are you?
You're welcome.
So tell us about all the history then of the Teta Kwashi farm.
Okay. Actually, this is the first place cocoa was established by a man called Teta Kwashi, and he was a blacksmith.
Yeah.
In that olden days, we don't have an air fight on any place in the world. So they were traveled by sea with a ship or a canoe.
No, a canoe?
Yeah, so normally it takes 6 weeks. And he established cocoa at Mampunikapi here.
Wow,
So
that's when it all began. This is the place for cocoa.
This is the place for cocoa.
So Thomas, is this a fully mature cocoa tree?
Yes, it's very mature.
It's huge.
And here we have a yellow pod over here which is ready to harvest.
And how old would this tree be?
This is already about 30 years.
So it takes 30 years to get to this height.
Yeah.
Where are the little ones? How does the cocoa bean start?
Normally you start from nursery.
So the nursery is where I need to start my journey.
Okay, then.
Let's go. Let's do this, my friend. Sahum is home to some of the 720,000 cocoa farmers across Ghana, like William, who's going to show us the early stages of the cocoa bean. Cocoa is mostly grown by hand on family-run farms, small as 2.5 acres apiece. William tells me he grows super cocoa. William, hi. Good morning.
Good morning. This is the cocoa nursery.
This is the cocoa nursery, okay. I'll follow you. Oh, wow. This looks cool. So, William, how does one actually grow chocolate?
This is the actual super cocoa bean.
Okay,
That's
okay.
why before you plant into the small poly bag like this,
Yeah.
you dig a hole and then you put the cocoa bean in the hole.
Okay.
Yes, and then cover it. That's good.
That's it. So, William, how many acres of cocoa plantation then would you get, say, from all the bags that are in front of us here now?
In fact, all the bags can receive about 10 acres cocoa plantations on the field.
That's a lot, eh?
Oh yeah, that's a lot.
This tree looks really, really big. What age is it?
This tree is exactly 2 years now.
Wow, that's
That
quite quick.
yields a bat that is going to bring a super cocoa.
Wow.
So you see the bats formed.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
In 2 years, you will get size of this tree. From this small pots, we get super cocoa.
Super cocoa for
That
super chocolate.
eventually turns to the chocolate bar.
Yum, yum.
Yeah.
Malcolm from VSO works on the ground with local communities here. VSO are partners in the Cocoa Life Partnership, an initiative established in 2008 by the cocoa industry, which supports cocoa growing communities in Ghana. So Malcolm, fill me in on Cocoa Life.
Cocoa Life is a really exciting partnership between Mondelez International, VSO, World Vision and Care International.
Okay.
And what's really exciting for me about it is that it's been running since 2008. So we have a bit of a track record and it's quite established at this point.
Yeah.
And the exciting part is that where we've taken the goals of big business and the goals of NGOs like ourselves who work at grassroots level, and they've actually become a common goal. So we're working in tandem together, and it's working to achieve both of our missions at the same time. The goals of the big business obviously is to see a sustainable and a quality supply of cocoa from the farms here that we see on the ground. And for us, it's about ensuring that people get a fair wage, that the household incomes are going up, that they've access to education, health, and all those things that help people to actually take control of their own futures and plot their own lives. So
you've seen a big difference since 2008?
Yeah, it's really exciting. So we've seen a 20% increase in cocoa production.
Brilliant.
An exciting one for me is a 207% increase in household incomes.
It's unbelievable.
It's huge change, massive change.
So people are getting proper money for their cocoa?
We're starting to see all of that happen in the farms where we work. That's really exciting.
Child labour can be an issue in some developing countries.
Yeah, absolutely. And to be emphatic about this, we do not tolerate child labour. Absolutely no way. And so when we came to this programme, the issue we faced is that most of the cocoa comes from smallholder farmers, like 5 acres.
Yes.
So we've no control over who works on those farms. Okay. But what we do have control over is changing people's attitudes and minds towards child labour. So we've children's rights clubs set up. We have a campaign with parents to educate them on, make sure your kids get into school.
Yes.
We go into the schools themselves and we ensure that kids understand their rights and that the importance of going to school. And we've seen a big increase in children in school actually, and that's really important because the children are the future, and they're now in a position to be able to take control of their future.
Yes,
and that's.
It's like exciting. This generation will benefit.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So Fred, then these cocoa trees need a lot of shelter, don't they?
Yeah, of course they do. Especially at the early stages of their life, 2 to 4 years, they need to be given enough shade to enable it to prevent the sun from scorching it. Let's say 6 to 8 desirable trees.
Right, let's get to work.
We normally use 2 tools in harvesting, during harvesting.
Okay.
We either use the machete or by the use of sickle-shaped knife on a long pole. You make sure you don't damage the eye where the pulse normally emerges from. You do it slowly, then you cut it.
Can I have a go?
You need to be very careful with the usage of it because it can remove from the pole. Yeah. Yes. Then you pull it slowly. A little bit harder.
I feel like
a little bit harder. Yes. Yeah.
This one's mine. Let's go. Okay. Ow! Guys, stand back. This is another dud. Oh my God. Stop laughing at me. This is hard.
So after the cocoa has been harvested, we bring it to a common point, then we break it.
How many cocoa pods then would people crack open every day?
Roughly break in as much as 2,000 pods per day.
2,000?
Yeah.
Holy moly. Wow. Okay. So there's an actual, you've got to crack it in the middle and then...
Yes, of course.
Oh God, it looks so weird.
Yes. You can take it. A bite.
To bite it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's very slimy, Fred.
Oh, you know...
And suck?
This is before fermentation. So if you can look at what you have at the back here, after they've broken the pods, we then bring it to a common point where we ferment it for 6 days. And that will ensure that drying will be faster.
Okay.
And it has to be turned every 48 hours.
Let's go to the next step then, the next stage. Are you swallowing yours?
No.
Oh, phew.
Drying is also an integral part of cocoa production. If you don't dry them at a proper place, you tend up to adulterate the beans. So there's a need for us to dry them on a mat, which allow air to pass through to ensure that drying is faster. Drying is all about reducing the moisture content. We then go in for jute sacks from the purchasing clerks. Then we bag them into it, pack them on a pallet. Later, when the cocoa season is in, we just get in them, we sell it out to the purchasing clerks.
So the partnership then has helped you do other farming?
Since cocoa is seasonal, what we then do, or what we then educate farmers to look out for certain ventures which can also put money in their pockets. And some of them includes rearing of animals like pigs, grass cutter production, and so on and so forth.
These wells are just one of the interventions of the partnership. The approach of the partnership is to support the entire cocoa community, not just the farmers, because everyone here is reliant on the cocoa trade. Okay, my arms are burning. Can I stop? Whew. These new wells here provide vital water and sanitation to the whole community. And more importantly, well management training has been provided so the villagers can maximise its use. What was life like here on the community before the wells arrived?
Before we don't get this pumping water, we walk about 4 or 3 kilometers before we get water to drink and to wash, so that our children in the community didn't go to school. But now we have get a potable water so that our children go to school early, and it helps the community and it helps the women at here too.
These wells represent a snapshot of advancement being made in the communities in respect of empowerment of women. The women here are also well represented in community affairs. Auntie Grace has been trained as a women extension volunteer, which means all the women in the community are represented.
We organize them to teach them how to make a good practice in agric by line. We nursery cocoa and sell them, then we'll get money. We plant vegetables and sell.
Nelson Mandela famously said that education is the most powerful weapon we can use to change the world. Here among this local community, those words strike a chord. And one of the first steps towards empowerment through education is this bike. Over 10,000 bikes have been distributed to school children who'd otherwise have to walk 3 kilometres or more every single day back to their local communities in this sweltering heat. In this particular area, over 500 bikes have been delivered to the wider community, enabling children to get to school. This is a Child's Rights Club. It was actually set up by the partnership. And what it does is it aims to teach the children against the pitfalls associated with child labour.
What is child labour, yeah? Whilst it is school hours, your parents ask you to go to the farm to work. If you do that, it's child labor. A child is someone who is from 0 to 18 years. Say it and let me hear. 0 to 8. Yes.
The teachers here receive training from partnership ambassadors, and this project is also fully supported by the government of Ghana. As this issue affects the whole community, the teachers also work with the parents to form child protection committees.
Hello, class. Hi. Okay, I'm a child labor committee chairman. So those who are interested should come and join us. You write your name, we train you.
It's a bit like the board of management at your local school, which serves the interests of parents, teachers and children.
We used to go to the parents and educate them. We educate the children
about their rights and then their responsibilities.
Okay, there's a saying around here, guys. What is it?
Cocoa, Ghana, Ghana, cocoa.
Well done. Farmers' cocoa beans are sold at a market, and these markets are known as buying sheds. All the beans are mixed together with their neighbours and then sold through contracts onto larger traders and then onto exporters or processors. Here at the sheds, the cocoa merchants weigh and grade the beans and get them ready for shipping overseas. Beans bought today may have been bought while they were still on the tree. The beans are aggregated at this stage from across Ghana before being exported. So an important feature of the partnership has been to work with Ghana Cocoa Board to scale up the activities across the cocoa sector.
Some of the major problems were access to information and then access to improve techniques for farming. Since we came in, we've been training the farmers on cocoa models, how to practice good agronomic practices. So it has benefits most of the farmers. We also assist them to get new improved varieties like the cocoa pods, and then they start establishing new farms. Now they know that the farming is a business, not just doing farming at any time.
In addition to the benefits felt here by the formation of the farmers' groups, fair trade certification has been embraced by the farmers. Certification through fair trade is part of the Cocoa Life strategy to offer cocoa growing communities greater opportunities by giving a fair price to farmers and the ability to reinvest in their own farms and communities.
Well, the premium that is gotten out of fair trade, it is to make the farmers sit up and then take their lives into their own destiny.
So we've been to Ghana and seen where the cocoa beans come from, but how do we get from this to this?
So the cocoa bean is taken from this stage and it goes through a pressing stage. First of all, a winnowing stage where it separates this bean from the shell itself, and you end up with what's called a nib.
Okay.
Now that nib is taken and it's pressed at high temperatures. And when you press it at high temperatures, you squeeze out the cocoa butter from it. And you're left with the little piece that's called a cake.
Okay.
Now that cake then is taken and it's mixed with milk and sugar. And then it goes along conveyors and it dumps it down into these big, what we call vats.
Yeah.
And then it's left churning away there. And then after about 6 hours, you'll have a liquid chocolate.
And then when it's in this big mixer, is that when I can potentially jump in and become one with the chocolate?
Lucy, I'm not so sure like I'd like to dive into the chocolate, but we can certainly go on up and go down and have a look.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's do it.
So the chocolate flakes come in.
The chocolate comes in along here from there, and it drops down into this conch here. So this now is the first stage of the process where we start mixing it.
Okay. And then with the next stage, this looks more like chocolate.
So after about 6 hours, this is the consistency that we have. And there's been a lot of chemistry going on in there where we've had the cocoa bean all mixing up with the sugar and the milk and all combined to make nice creamy chocolate.
So the next stage is we'll see this being poured out.
So the next stage we'll see that being taken from this conch here and drawn off into a bucket.
Oh, come to mama. I still feel like I need to jump.
It's heaven, isn't it?
This is my idea, honestly, of just heaven. This is the good stuff. Oh my God, it looks so shiny. I'm gonna get a spoon on the sly. I really want to jump here.
So at this stage now our chocolate is coming from the storage tanks and down into the temporary machine. This is what gives us the nice glossy finish to it and the snap when you break the bar. And it's poured down into these molds through the depositor. So you can see our little 8 square bars all lined up here.
Yeah.
And it goes right into a cooling process.
Then it's cooled and then wrapped
so it goes
and then into my tummy.
Out of our cooler, and we have a robot that picks the bars up and leaves them on a belt.
You see, this is the kind of thing I could just watch all day.
Yeah, and it's fabulous. It's like poetry in motion, but it's all running so well, isn't it?
So Jerry, how many bars of chocolate is this wrapping then?
So currently we're wrapping 300 bars per minute on each machine. So for example, 600 bars per minute, 10 per second. You see it goes through the wrapping machine here, it goes down the foil band, and it makes some finished product coming out in the line here, ready to be shipped to our customers.
So there you have it. For many years, the industry has been working alongside cocoa farmers to bring about a positive and sustainable way to grow and harvest cocoa in West Africa. The establishment of the Cocoa Partnership by Capri saw a $70 million commitment to create sustainable cocoa communities through partnership and community-centred development. The good news is that under new owners Mondelez International, Cocoa Life continues to build on the partnership by working with governments and NGOs such as VSO, assisting farmers and their communities. Over the next 10 years, the business will invest $400 million, benefiting 200,000 farmers in cocoa farming communities around the world.